I was a member at Toastmasters for more than 4 years. I was also a founding member of a club in South Mumbai where I currently stay. So I was quite deep into the system, and if you're planning to join Toastmasters, this video will help you decide if you should or should not, and if you're already a Toastmasters member, it will help you understand how to get the most from your membership. Before we get started, just note that this is my opinion and my experience. This video is not affiliated, does not represent Toastmasters at all. So here we go. Now, for those of you who don't know what Toastmasters is, it's basically a non-profit organization which started in the US. I believe it's going on for approximately 100 years and has clubs all over the world. If you're living in a major city, there are most likely quite a few clubs around you itself. And in my view, it's basically a platform where you can go and practice your communication and public speaking skills. Let's break this video up into 3 parts. Let's get into the pros of why you should join Toastmasters, some cons that you should consider before joining, and finally, if you are a member, how can you get the most out of it? Starting with the pros. Now, a Toastmasters meeting is usually divided up into 3 parts. You have the prepared speeches. This is where the members will nominate themselves to write, practice the speech, and then come deliver it at the club. Then you have the evaluation, where senior members will give you feedback on that speech. And finally, you have the table topics. These are impromptu speaking sessions, and it's usually open to anybody in the audience. The sequence of these 3 might vary, and there might be other additions depending on the club you're in, but this is essentially the core of it. Now, usually there's an organizing committee. These people are members of the club who volunteer themselves to take over a certain organizational aspect of running that club. There's an entire article be written on the different roles of this organizing committee. You can check that out in the description below. There are also a ton of roles that you can play within the club besides the prepared speeches, evaluations, table topics. These include things like becoming the Toastmaster of the day, who is essentially the person who moderates the entire meeting. You have other roles like timer, hour counter, grammarian, general evaluator, table topic master. All of these descriptions given below. Let's dive into the pros of why you should join this club in the first place. Now, right in the bat, if you're contemplating whether I should join, I should not join, if there is a club located near you, either go for a free session or just join. There is almost no way you will face a downside by becoming a Toastmasters member. It is of course subjective, but the fee in most cases is not very high either. You can join it for one term, see if you like it, and then decide to renew your membership or not. However, getting into a very specific positive, Toastmasters is a safe place to fail. What I mean to say is that if you are afraid of public speaking, you can go over there, and if you mess up, if you blank out, if you make mistakes when you're on stage, that's completely okay. The idea of the platform is to give you a non-judgmental environment where you can go ahead, practice, and make errors. I remember when I gave my 3rd prepared speech, I blanked out after the first couple of minutes. And after the speech ended, I was so ashamed, but all the members were pretty encouraging, saying that don't worry about it, it happens to me as well, try again next time. And I did. I tried again the next time, and things were fine. Everybody forgot about it. So if you're afraid of public speaking and want to put yourself out there, this is a great first step to take. Which gets into my second point. The organization offers different levels for you to ease into public speaking. When I became a member, it was very difficult for me to go and give a speech. However, you can start by taking small roles like the timer or the hour counter or the grammarian. These are very small roles where you get to go on stage, but you do have a script. The idea is that if you're very nervous to go on stage, it gives you that first stepping stone, a very simple task to perform in front of people. And the more you do these little tasks, the more familiar you become with the stage, and eventually you can give more and more speeches. And the last pro, according to me, is the exposure to public speaking that it offers. Because of its global network, you can go and participate in international speech contests. You can meet senior speakers, you can get mentors, you can network with other people. It's a great place to get closer to this industry of communications. I've met a lot of people there who are my very close friends to this very day. Moreover, it's just helped broaden my perspective because I don't think I would have met a lot of professional speakers if I hadn't gone to Toastmasters. Now, those are the main reasons why I would join it. If you're afraid of public speaking, just go for it. However, here are some cons that you need to keep in your mind. These are not reasons why you should not join, but things that you should be aware of before you become a member. Number 1, remember that it's a non-profit organization and your experience is subjective to the club you're joining. I was lucky enough to join a great club in the very beginning. So the team that was organizing the meetings, were very, very efficient. So all meetings ran smoothly, they were entertaining, and everyone got equal opportunities to speak up. But I have visited some clubs which are not operating with the same level of smoothness. Because all of them are run by volunteers, at the end of the day, people have their full-time jobs and Toastmasters can get sidetracked. It's rare, but it can happen. So if you go to a club and don't get along with the vibe, you can try another one out in your vicinity. Number 2, community-based learning. Now this can go into the pro section as well, but for me, it was a bit of a con. What I mean to say by community-based learning is that at the end of the day, there are going to be multiple people in the club. And the idea is to provide people an audience to practice in front of. You are also going to be part of that audience. Now, of course, we should support people in their own journeys as well. But at the same time, if you're looking for fast growth, you'll find that if you don't get a chance to give a prepared speech, evaluation, table topic, or anything like that, you might just be sitting around in meetings and listening to other speakers. That is fine for the most part, but if you keep doing that, it's not going to help us see improvements. Secondly, even if you do get the chance to speak up, you're going to get to speak maximum for 5 to 7 minutes if you're giving a prepared speech. Most of the other roles, evaluations, and table topics offer you much lesser stage time. And finally, number 3, speech writing. Again, this can be taken as a pro as well. For me, it was not. I joined Toastmasters to improve my public speaking. I wanted to become more confident to help me in my job. I didn't want to become a speechwriter at all. And the prepared speech section, in my opinion, is one of the most powerful sections in Toastmasters. But to nominate yourself, you need to write your own speech, which you will be evaluated on. And I found myself a lot of the times through the week before a meeting thinking of a speech topic, writing a speech. And because of that, I would procrastinate giving speeches very often. I would much rather have a speech written out and just practice my delivery, because all I want to do is just go on stage and get familiar with people looking at me. Having said that, speech writing does have its own benefits. It helps you understand how to hook an audience in, it helps you understand storytelling techniques. There's a lot of benefits from this area, but because of it, it slowed down the amount of speeches that I could give. This is not a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people enjoy writing speeches. For a lot of them, it's easier than for me. But again, this is just my opinion. Again, keep in mind that these cons are not reasons to not join Toastmasters. They're just some things to be aware of. And the final point about how to get the most out of your membership. Now, I have seen people who join Toastmasters and in a short 6-month period have gone from complete shyness and introvertedness to becoming amazing speakers. However, I've also seen people who are members for 3 years, 4 years, and have barely seen any progress as communicators. And that's because when we join, we do need to have some sort of a goal. What is your reason for joining? Is it to overcome your fear of public speaking? Is it to become a better speechwriter? Is it to win contests and become a known speaker? Or is it just to meet new people and do something productive once a week? There's no right or wrong over here. Just be intentional about it so that if you do want to get rid of stage fright, you know that you constantly have to keep nominating yourself for different speeches, for different roles, and pushing yourself till you achieve that goal. And if you are thinking of joining and giving your first icebreaker speech, we've made a whole video on it that will help you craft and deliver that effectively. You can check it out right here.